What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Oleksandr Usyk. Get this, straight off the press. Usyk states, "It was really a difficult fight for me. Afterwards, at hotel, I fell asleep sitting up." Oleksandr Usyk does not agree with the notion that his unanimous points win over Anthony Joshua last year was a total breeze. While Usyk obtained the WBO, the WBA, and the IBO, and the IBF heavyweight titles in largely dominant fashion over Anthony Joshua at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London, the Ukrainian heavyweight clarifies that in a recent interview that Anthony Joshua proved to be a formidable foe. He said the proof, after the fight at the hotel, Usyk said he dozed off while sitting up. He said it was really a difficult fight for me. Usyk said, "Everybody keeps saying it was an easy walk, but no, it wasn't. It was a hard fight for him and for me. After the fight, I came back to the hotel and I took some food and I fell asleep sitting up." Usyk's southpaw straight lefts, nimble footwork, and feints kept Joshua off kilter the entire fight of their 12-round affair. At times, Joshua even looked completely befuddled. Towards the end of the 12th round, Usyk was rocking the British star with lefts and rights, with power punches. The comprehensiveness of Usyk's victory understandably lent the perception that Usyk had coasted to victory. While Usyk, a former undisputed champion at cruiserweight, commanded the action, his face reflected the type of damage he absorbed from the bigger Joshua. The long-awaited rematch, of course, between Usyk and Joshua is scheduled for August 20th in Saudi Arabia, Jeddah pay-per-view. He said, "All I did was pray," Usyk said. "I did not want to leave the Ukraine, but I visited my friends in the military and I visited them in the hospital. All of them were asking me to participate in this fight, to take the rematch and to fight for the whole country of Ukraine. Even my wife, I wanted to send her and my kids out of the Ukraine, but she said she would not go. She said I would not go, and that's it." Those are the words of Oleksandr Usyk. Let me counterpunch. You know, a lot of people that are elite fighters, they have a certain type of rhythm. They have a certain type of technique and discipline, okay? And they project that into the ring. You see them and how they perform. Like they have the footwork, the nimbleness, the effectiveness, the elusiveness. Floyd, Money Mayweather had it. Pretty boy, Floyd Mayweather had it. And he said he makes it look easy. Doesn't really mean it is. Okay? And a lot of times people need to understand that this is boxing. You can lose your life in the ring. So for him saying that Anthony Joshua was his pushover, and people giving Anthony Joshua this bad rap like, oh man, he just ain't got it, or, he got beat by a cruiserweight or a middleweight or a blown up middleweight or whatever. Those guys, and none of those bastards have fought this guy. Okay? And if you look at Joshua's and Usyk's face, they look like they got in a fight. So if you put both of those guys side by side, and just by looking at each of them, which one did you think won? That's all you had to know. I mean, they were both busted up. So they were in a fight. It wasn't like Oleksandr Usyk beat Joshua. He just did what Joshua couldn't do. He just did more of what Joshua tried to do. Okay, but that doesn't mean he wasn't taking punches. It doesn't mean that he wouldn't get caught with big shots. It just means that his defense, for the most part, was keeping him afloat, along with his footwork and overall boxing skill. Okay, but you had to be tough. But he's letting you know, like, look, it wasn't what you guys thought it was. And if you think it's like that, get your ass in the ring and fight him. See, what kills me, you got all these other off-brand fighters. And when I mean off-brand, I mean how Errol Spence explained it across the street. Those type of guys never fought Usyk and don't know what it's like to fight Usyk. They don't know what it's like to fight that type of guy. That's why when you do have these fights happen, people are oohs and ahs because they're dumbfounded of what they're seeing. Okay? When you start matching up fighters that never fought before, you're going to get things you never seen before. Counterpunch. But Usyk saying like, hey, the grass is not greener. I mean, look, I won, but that don't mean I didn't get punched in the fucking face to get that victory. It took something to fight and beat the bigger guy, Joshua. Joshua wasn't this dude that came in like, no, okay? That was Usyk being the smaller guy, using his advantages of what he knew to do, okay? To keep Joshua from punching him in the face and vice versa. It's just Usyk did it more, okay? But it doesn't mean he didn't get his share of punches. So that makes me respect Usyk because he's just bringing it to you guys real. Like, look, like I think he mentioned this a little bit before, but he went in more depth this particular interview. And it just letting you know that, hey, that wasn't an easy fight for me. It's just I'm an elite fighter, and this is how elite fighters fight. They don't show you that, oh, I'm all busted up and I'm all hurt. You could tell that he was bleeding. You could tell that he was cut. You could tell that he was swollen to both eyes. You could tell those things. But he didn't show you with his body language. He still had to keep a certain type of poker face and poise in the ring. That's how you do it when you're an elite fighter. You guys tell me what you think about Oleksandr Usyk admitting that Anthony Joshua was no easy contest. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.